Joey from Washington, D.C., do you think WWE could do AJ Styles against Finn Balor for brand supremacy at WrestleMania? Would this be a better idea than AJ against Shane McMahon? Yeah, it would. It really would. Balor, by the way, just came back this weekend. He's back. He came back on the house show, so he's all ready to go. And it would be very easy to set it up. You still have a few weeks to go before WrestleMania. You know, AJ obviously is pissed off about being screwed out of the WrestleMania main event. Shane and Bryan offer him a consolation prize of sorts, which is battling for SmackDown on behalf of SmackDown against the evil Raw brand. And Balor can make his surprise return on Raw in the next, he could do it tomorrow night. You don't even have to wait a few weeks. He could do it tomorrow night. He could come back and you have each of them show up on the other show over the next few weeks and they go out there at WrestleMania and they tear the house down. And look, if you want to not just have a match, but you want to work a story out of this thing, it's very easy to do, right? You can almost do a double turn of sorts. And I know people already cheer for it. I mean, AJ's basically a babyface already. They just haven't figured it out yet. Gets cheered everywhere he goes. So it's kind of hard to call it a double turn, but you have Anderson and Gallows show up, right? Who are there? They're there to help. AJ assumes it's him, and then, bam, they help Balor. Balor wins, because I don't think Balor should come back and lose his first big match. And that sets up a new faction on Raw, and you've successfully turned AJ. AJ now is officially, in babyface mode, and he should be already anyway. And now coming out of WrestleMania, you got a couple of options. Either he could challenge for the championship on SmackDown, or if they do a draft, AJ could get drafted to Raw, and you can continue the feud on Raw with Balor and Styles, and they can have some rematches. I'm just spitballing here. If Raw does get Balor and AJ on the same brand, I don't know who SmackDown gets. I don't want to gut SmackDown. I'm very hesitant to do that. SmackDown is light years ahead of Raw. I don't want to ruin that. I do want to elevate Raw. I don't think we need to live in a world where Raw sucks and SmackDown is, always the better show. Wouldn't it be nice if you kind of got them back on an even playing field? So I'm always kind of interested in different ways that we could strengthen Raw, and that may be one way to do it. They get Balor back, they move AJ over to Raw. You'd have to call somebody up like Nakamura, though. You've got to fill that gap somehow. AJ would be a big, big loss for SmackDown. So calling up Nakamura, it would take more than that, though. You'd have to trade, maybe Sami Zayn. I think Sami Zayn would be much better off, frankly, if you went to SmackDown, because it just feels like he's doomed on that Raw brand. Or maybe trade Joe, Samoa Joe. I know he just signed a contract for Raw, but you could move Samoa Joe over to the SmackDown brand. So these are just different ideas to kind of investigate. But if you're asking me, would Styles Balor be a more compelling match for WrestleMania? The answer is a resounding yes, it would.